What I've decided to do right now, right away, is to get rid of that little edge or that little protrusion I left. So I'm going to file it down. So that now it'll look like that. We're going to mark the edge for the center using a center punch that I have laying around. That's about the same width or the same diameter as the diameter here as the width of the blanks. So I'm just gonna use it to scribe a line. So even if the line is not perfectly in the center, if it's scribed from both sides with the blade on both sides, I mean, then even if two lines are produced, they will represent, the space between them will be true center. So after scribing, I've started filing the bevels. This will be a long process, but I've tried to shrink it down and speed it up enough for you guys to be able to see it and not hate watching the video. So as you can see, what I'm trying to do is file the bevels in relation to the edge, so trying to maintain the same width of the bevel, or the height of the bevel rather, from the edge of the blade. And because of the shape that I gave the blade, what's going to happen is the area closest to the tang is going to be higher, as you can see right there, than it will be in the belly of the blade. But you'll see what I'm going to do next after this. I removed bulk of the material. This will need to be cleaned up. Don't pay attention to all of this. It's just I haven't even flattened this cut yet. I mean, it is pretty flat. I'm also thinking that I may kind of make it taper toward the front. I'll round over the top edge where we have that etching stuff happening, and then we'll thin out the tang for the handle. What I wanted to show you is the progress I've made so far. So as I mentioned before, I've tapered the sides of the knife down, or the blade down. So I basically filed the flats more here and less coming to the tang. So that changed the shape of the bevels, obviously. I think it looks pretty good. So you see what I drew up as far as the tang and the material that I'm going to remove. Here I've decided to just show you that I continue to use hand tools like handsaw or hacksaw rather, and in the file later, just to kind of remove that extra material. I figured instead of trying to figure out how to add a handle with the partial tang kind of exposed at the top and going towards the center of the handle, I've decided to just make it a partial, I guess, hidden tang. So I'm also going to be adding a bolster, a brass bolster to this knife. So you can see what I'm trying to do is make my transitions be rounded for strength, for added strength, I guess, and make it a little bit harder for this blade to snap at the transition between the tang and the blade. So cleaning up the surface a little bit, I'm going to need to use the file and kind of flatten it slightly. All those ridges on the bottom of the tang, from remnants from me drilling through that one sheet of steel, they're going to be great for retention when epoxy is added. So I'm not worried about it too much. The other idea I had is that I may actually round the top and bottom of the tang edges, because if I'm going to be drilling into the wood handle to open up, to make the opening for the tang, you know, drill bits around right? So I figured if I round the top and bottom edges, I may put myself in a better position as far as having to do less to the hole in the wood to allow the tank to get in there, and I may get a better connection, just period. Here you see I'm relieving that edge, the rear edge of the blade. And what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to make the blade recess into the bolster. So I'm going to use a rotary tool when I work on the bolster to create a, well, as perfect as possible or as close as possible of the blade shape in the bolster, so that I can recess the blade into the bolster a little bit. I think it'll make it for a cleaner transition, and we'll just make it look a little bit more finished or refined, rather. So I'm also gonna round this edge over. As you can see, that's what I'm trying to do, is just create some 45-degree cuts, and later I'll sand it down, refine it and sand it down, and you'll see that the idea is for the edges of the blade that go into the bolster to be rounded both on top and on the bottom, as you can see that right now. So by the way, this blade was rough sanded, but soon we're going to proceed and sand it down a little bit more, just to create a more uniform finish. And I'll show you the grits of the sandpaper that I used. But so far it's going pretty well. I've forgotten a lot of things from when I used to make knives before, a long time ago. Lost a little bit of my confidence, so I'm trying to gain it back. So this knife, I'm thinking, is my trial knife, basically. We'll see what I can do with it. As far as hardening goes, or as far as heat treating, I think I'm going to send it out, because even though I do have some tanks of oxygen and MAP gas, they're pretty small, and I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get the knife up to temp to quench it at home. And basically my setup currently is not very beneficial, or not beneficial, very what am I trying to say, conducive to heat treating. So I'll send it out. Have it be done by professionals. The edge currently is about 15 thousandths, which I think is probably not enough. I should have left a more stout edge on this blade, so I'm not sure if anybody of the aforementioned professionals is actually going to do anything about this blade. Maybe they just will not want to even take it in. But as I mentioned before, here's the sanding of the blade. What you'll see is that I will change directions from time to time. I was also using water as a lubricant. Not in the beginning here, but you'll see me using water in a little bit. Or maybe I cut it out. You'll definitely see me using water here. So you'll see slurry build up. I went from 240 to 400, then to 600, and didn't take it any further because the knife still has to be heat treated, and I'd rather just take care of all the scratches afterwards, as opposed to trying to make it all perfect now and potentially end up with scratches during heat treat, if the knife has to be straightened or something like that. So I've decided not to take it too far in my sanding right now. Plus the edge is already thin, so I kind of don't want to go overboard and then accidentally basically sharpen the knife. that's one of the things that I said I forgot about making a knife. I kind of got carried away in when I was beveling. I got a little bit carried away and left a, an edge that was already kind of thinner than I wanted. So we'll see how it turns out. I'll call the guys that that do professional heat treating basically, and if they say that the edge is too thin for them, then I'll just try to do it myself, and that will be part 3 basically. So we'll see how that goes. You can see that I switched to 600 here, and hopefully I'll show here that I do change directions when sanding. Changing directions will show you deeper scratches left by previous sanding cycles. So here you see I shifted about, I don't know, 20-30 degrees. Same with the bevel. So all in all, so far it's going good. And again, this is just me trying to remember basically what it's like to make a knife with mostly hand tools. But we'll see what it looks like later. Oh, the other thing I should mention is that I've decided to not keep edges between the planes basically. So I'm going to smooth them out and make it one continuous kind of blade profile or bevel profile. So you'll see me using my finger as opposed to a backer, and that's because I've decided to not focus on maintaining that edge between the bevel and the flat. So once again, thank you for watching. Thanks for sticking through. Like I said, this is a very different video from what I used to do, so just wanted to make a knife, or wanted to see if I remember anything about how to make a knife. So again, thanks for watching. Let me know in comments what you think, and stay tuned for part 3.